What's up, y'all? It's 2026. I'm saying that because our first episode that we're dropping in 2026 in February. But listen. It's been busy. Oh, there's a lot of things that have been happening, and we want to welcome you to the Two Young Pastors podcast.
Welcome back.
Or welcome back. Or if you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Today we're gonna spend some time talking about some life changes that has happened on one half of these hosts, which is Jajuan. And we're talking about his marriage, and some of the things that he had to kind of process through, especially being a pastor. So we want to give y'all some insight. At if you're planning or you've been through a marriage, listen, you want to stick in and share your insight and your feedback as well. But Jawan, first of all, congratulations, man. How you feeling?
Oh man, I appreciate it. Happy 2026. Can't believe that this is the first episode. But yes, wedding planning will consume your entire life the closer you get to the wedding.
Yeah.
I feel a whole lot easier now. I think like I am your typical guy. I'm your typical guy when it comes to like weddings and marriage. I think like the stereotype is like most guys that I know, right? They're like, hey, I'm ready for marriage. Like the wedding day, the bride, she got it. But I'm more so focused on marriage. So now that like the wedding is finally over, and let's say added on like the pastoral pressure, because whenever you're a pastor, you kind of sort of see programming differently than the average person. Um, I recognize that now that it's finally said and done, it was a successful day. I was pleased with it. Janelle was pleased with it, and
Mhm.
so that's really all that mattered to me. As long as Janelle was happy, I'm happy. And it also helped that there were several people that was just like, "Hey, like from top to bottom, this is one of the best weddings I've ever experienced in my life." And I'm like, "Thank God, thank God." Thank God. So yeah, feel good, man. Feel good. Feel blessed. And coming off of a very an extended break from work, haven't really
Yeah.
taken off work this long. So feel good. Feel good. Just not to be thinking about church, engaging in church. But definitely happy to be back. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. How are you feeling?
Man, I feel good, man. Just hitting the ground running in 2026. Definitely did not think that all the things that are happening right now,
Yeah.
not uh, personally and professionally, never imagined that they would be happening in a good way, in a good way.
Yeah.
But man, what was great is that I had the privilege, man, of being one of your groomsmen, and I want to say, it was a privilege, man, seeing you in your element as well. Being there. We had the rehearsals, and in case you've never seen a rehearsal and you're listening or you're watching, right? Like that's where uh, all the things tend to happen, right? All the things tend to happen, and from my perspective, at least, like I didn't see like from the groomsmen, like what happens sometimes, right, is that everyone start pitching their ideas, on what it should look like and sound like and things like that. And the guys that that I was standing with, we were all like, nah, like it's not that it's not that pressed to get as involved. We just listen and we do it. And if
the,
it
the the ladies were the ones that were chiming in a little bit more on what their ideas and things like that. So yeah, yeah,
the walking and the whole layout and stuff, like it's always interesting. But man, something that I appreciate, and I was telling Leah this too, was um, you know, there are like always stories about like the bride and the groom not being able to experience their day the way that they wanted it, because of input from everybody else. But in in our rehearsals, and I would after seeing this, man, I would recommend this to everybody. Is have a binder. Like I saw on was it Sunday night or Friday night? Uh,
It was Saturday. It was Saturday.
Saturday night. Saturday night. Janelle pulled out a binder, man, and I was like, "This is it." This is it.
Listen, my wife is she's that girl. Like she's that girl. So she took that. She took that. She took it, and she's very organized. And yes, like to your point, it's so important that you have an understanding of what your vision is.
Mhm,
And depending on like the type of people pleaser that you are, you may try to accommodate so many different people. But no, you got to remember, if there is any day that you can be selfish, like it is that day. If it's any day that you could be self-focused, it is that day. And it's important that you lean into it, because even me, I struggle to lean into that at times. And I had to be reminded of several groomsmen, like, hey, yo, you're not a burden, like I know that you're used to being pastor and caring for other people, but like let us care for you
mhm,
um in this weekend. And so yeah, bro, to your point, lots of, like, I want to say this, it was a simple process for the most part. We wanted to go through the entire weekend without any hitches. We did have hitches. We had, unfortunately, somebody step back from the wedding party. By the
mhm.
way, we had a very large bridal party, okay?
That's true, yeah.
Like we had 10 people per side. Ended up being 10 and 9 because someone stepped back on the lady side. But we had 10 people. And one, I gotta say, we're blessed. Janelle and I are both blessed that we have enough people in our lives that care about us that much. Um,
Mm,
like as I was like looking, I was like, I don't have any issues with any of these guys. And like for me, it's brotherhood. It's brotherhood. And I've never necessarily been the friend who talks to people every day. But I have been the individual who's been trying to be intentional about at least connecting once a month, right? And whenever I can connect, right? Especially since certain individuals live states away.
mhm,
It's a blessing. It's a blessing for real, man. And
mhm.
so when I consider that, when I think about that, I can't help but be like happy that like this entire weekend was like a reminder that our community is massive, it's large, we have a lot of supporters. We have more supporters than we have detractors, than we have
Hey,
individuals who would want us to not prosper. And yeah, and so I think we saw that the entire weekend. If you are a man, all right, because I guess at this point, got to give advice to the
yeah,
men out there. So I think that that's crucial. But let me really hop into this. So
yeah,
so I guess kind of sort of go into like top five, right? Type things, right? So first and foremost, bro, here's what I would say. Um, First, you need to know, how much do you care about a wedding? All right.
What do you
Um,
mean by how much do you care? Like how much you're invested in it?
yes,
Like what? Okay.
like emotionally, how much are you invested in it emotionally versus how much your partner is invested in it, right? I think
Mm,
I think like ultimately most times women are always more invested in the wedding than a lot of men that I know. Not saying that,
yeah,
it's not that, but typically society says, hey, it's the bride's day. And a lot of times men do get kind of sort of overshadowed a lot of times, right?
yeah, yeah,
And so I would say this: you need to figure out, how much is this day important to me? Because you may be the person that's just like, hey, the day is not important. Life after the day is what's really important to me. And that's okay.
mm,
And you can also be the person that's just like, no, this day is tantamount. Like we've been working towards this day as well. Both are fine. Or you could simply
yeah,
be in the middle. It's just important for you to understand how much this day is important to you. And depending on that would dictate how much input you have. Okay. Um,
Okay.
I say that because I realized while the day meant something to me, I realized that it meant so much more to Janelle. And
Mm.
so a lot of it was I said, "Hey, babe, you take lead." And how I'll support is if you say colors, I'll let you know if I'm on board with it or not. If you go for certain decor, I'll let you know if I'm feeling it or if I'm not. If
Mhm.
you go through certain outlines, I'm like, I like this or I don't. So because I realized that this day meant a whole lot more to her than it did to me, and I think
Mhm.
it's okay to admit that, right? I'm not the most sentimental person, right? That's just not who I am.
Mhm.
I'm a very practical, functional person.
Yeah.
And so for me, I cared about the nuts and bolts of the day. I
Mhm.
cared about, and I said this with the groomsmen. I care about the day flowing. I cared about the day making sense. I wanted us to be able to keep timelines. I wanted us to be able to make sure that the production was good. That's what I
Mhm.
care about. That's how I really showed my support. Because no matter what, I'm a pretty consistent person. Okay. Like the same way I felt about wedding is the same day I felt about ordination. Like it's a
Yeah.
great thing that happened, but the real magic is what's going to take place after. Like the magic is how we're going to build our life after this day.
Mhm.
That's what I cared about, and that's cool. That's cool. There are other people who are just like, hey, I'm sentimental, and I want every aspect of this day to really symbolize something. Both are beautiful. Both are beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
My thing is, hey, you need to figure out how invested are you really so that you don't get agitated, right? So you don't get
Correct.
agitated when other people possibly care more than you do, or when other people are asking certain things of you. Like you need to see what is the best way for me to show up so that
Mhm.
one, my partner, my spouse feels like I'm there and I'm present for them, and
Mhm.
two, so that you can still enjoy the day as much as you possibly can, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
me, I'm not a public display of affection person. Like I don't really care if people know about what's happening in my relationship with Janelle. Like
Mhm.
I don't like I care that people see that it testifies of the love of God and that
Yeah.
it has godlike characteristics, but I am not I'm not the I want to share my relationship with you. Like my parents come from as you know, I come from a dysfunctional household. I don't remember my parents saying I love you to each other, you know. And so like I'm not a I'm trying to involve you in our relationship. So so that's like the first thing, bro. I think that is crucial for you to understand, you know, how much do I care about this day. And I feel
Right.
like it
Right.
was bad saying that because like there might be some people that's like, oh, you don't care about the day. It doesn't mean anything to you. And I'd be like, what do you want me to say? Like,
I you're not, uh, like, what you're saying is very important, like, we've all seen those videos of, like, the wedding reception, right? And the bride is mad, right? Or, like, we've seen those videos where the groom is mad, right? And it's just because they weren't communicating with each other,
no,
right, about some things on the day of. And
yeah,
and like I saw this one man where like the girl like cuts the cake and then is giving it to the groom and then he like swipes the entire cake off the table and walks away, right?
wow, that's selfish.
And 100%.
Selfish.
And and
Don't
like
be
you
selfish
could
in that way. Don't be selfish in that way. Okay.
like you can skip those moments, right? If you're like, hey, like this person is more has throughout their life invested more mentally and emotionally in this thing than I have. Cause like you, bro, like I might have like one or two things that I'm thinking about, like that I love to have. But in terms of everything else, I'm like, hey, I know what works production wise in terms of flow and things. I can help you out there and making sure things are mapped out right. But like, you know, let's work and then you take the lead. But in that conversation, right? Like, don't just like I don't like when I said that in the rehearsal there was a binder, it was a binder that was drawing the boundaries, right, for the bridal party so that we we knew what was expected of us. And I
No
think that was great.
surprises. There
Right,
were no
right,
surprises at all. Like,
right.
and I think it's crucial because like it wasn't even just like a binder that had some, no, it had every detail. Like Janelle, man, God bless her heart, she outlined the entire weekend. And so even like the day of, she outlined what the morning process before the wedding was supposed to look like, what the wedding ceremony was supposed to look like, what was supposed to happen after the wedding ceremony, and even the reception. Outlined all of that. Okay, she
Mhm.
outlined it all, and so it's intentionality. And so I
Yeah.
would say that, and so I guess that would, bro, that leads into the second one. When you and Leah, take that step. Um, as much as possible, don't be like, I'm a pastor. I'm used to planning things. I did it. And because when I am used to putting on programs and things like that, right? Um, as much as possible, get as much done out of the way as you can. Like
Mhm.
Janelle and I, we got a lot of stuff done and out of the way very early on. And
Mm.
it's imperative that you do. One, the closer you get to the wedding, the more you're going to feeling antsy about certain things. So you want to make sure that you're good to go. Um, I would say this: we had most of our things laid out between August and September of last year. Uh,
Mm. Wow.
now, we had a February wedding.
Yeah.
That's not normal, but there are benefits to having a February wedding because it's not in season, and because it's not in season, it means that you get discounted prices. And
Mhm.
so, not only did we have an out of season wedding, we had a wedding on a Monday rather than a
That's
Sunday.
true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're trying to be economical, right? Just talking about planning, if you're trying to be economical, it may be beneficial for you to have a wedding on a Monday rather than a Sunday. Okay.
Mm.
And I know there's a cultural difference between you and I because you're
Mhm.
Indian, and even from previous conversations that you and I have had, y'all invite everybody. Like, it,
Not to my wedding.
oh, I remember you were telling me that like y'all gonna be inviting everybody.
No, sir. That's what my parents want, right? But like me and Leah are on the same page of like, no, like we're inviting individuals that we actually speak to and talk to on a regular basis. Um,
Piece of advice: because we're pastors,
correct,
the world
correct,
is different.
correct.
So preparation, talking about planning, trying to knock out as much as possible. Janelle and I, we ended up having our wedding at Metro. And a major part of that is that as a pastor, and especially pastors of large churches,
Hmm.
we were blessed to we're blessed to say that you pastored at Capitol Hill, I pastored at Metro, and so because of that, there's a lot of people who become invested in you.
Hmm.
Okay. And there are individuals who show love to you annually, if not more. Like not only pastors do we get gifts on Pastors Appreciation Month, but typically anniversaries, we get gifts. There are members, aside from what the church gives, there are members who like just sow into you,
Hmm.
and who
Hmm.
help you along the way. They are invested. And so because we've come from larger churches, and yes, I'm now at two new churches. So that's adding on. That's adding on
Yeah,
people who
more
are
people.
not only in me, but in Janelle. But there are individuals who have sown into us. And so because of that, I was like, man, originally we were like, let's try to keep it to 150.
Hmm.
Um, which is really hard because there are several people at church which is like, oh, I can't wait for the wedding. It's gonna be good. Am I invited? And it's just like, oh my gosh, my goodness, help me, Jesus. Um, because like the actual day of the wedding, because we had an open ceremony but a closed reception or a private reception, it was able to be so many more people. Like when
Mm,
we turned around, there were at least 300 people who were there in person. And did they all come to the reception? No, no. But it was we were able to share that moment with more people who really wanted to
right.
be there because it was at least an open reception. And so
No,
one
a open ceremony.
an open sorry, yes, an
Mhm.
open ceremony. And so that was one of the things that we did because Janelle, she didn't want to get married in a church. She actually wanted to get married in like a place where you could do um the ceremony and the reception. She wanted to do
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She wanted to do that. Part of the reason why she wanted to do that because depending on the church, you may not be able to play certain songs, right? We
Mhm.
got away with playing the songs that we wanted to play. And I mean, we weren't playing crazy songs, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
We weren't playing crazy songs, but it was fine. It was completely fine. Uh, and so Janelle wanted a different venue, but also the venue that she wanted, it was pricey. It increased the price. Another benefit to being a pastor, especially if you're possibly, getting married at your church, there might
Mhm.
be a little discount that you get. A little
Right,
discount.
right, right. A little friends and family rate.
Yeah. And so because of that, it being economical, tariffs are a thing, it's hitting hard. And I know this because rings now, our prices are going up.
Really? I didn't know that, wow.
Yeah. If you're trying to get like real gold, right? Now,
Yeah, gold is
now
crazy.
here's the thing, like, and different people, different strokes for different boats. Me and Janelle, we were going economical. Um, when it came to like my rings, because I've purchased a couple, um, I would say we went on the more affordable path.
Yeah.
It's like why I didn't feel the need to pay thousands of dollars for a wedding band, especially since it's just like me to want multiple wedding bands. Um,
Mm,
And so that might seem different to different people. That might seem like
mhm.
multiple wedding bands. Yes, depending on the outfit, you wear a different wedding band. So like right now I have three. I have three wedding bands. One is of course this one that I got, right?
Ooh, I like it, yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. Like uh
What's it say on it?
oh, it doesn't say anything.
Oh, it's
I told you.
oh, okay.
So yeah,
Wow.
uh I definitely think it's a conversation starter.
Yeah,
And I love the ridges. It
yeah.
adds to like the masculine feel of it.
Mhm.
Um, so that's one of them. I also have like a silicone one because I'm trying to get in shape because I gained a lot of weight. But so yeah.
Alright.
Um,
That's love
so
weight. It's love weight.
hey.
Love weight.
So that's it depends on the person. You may be the person that's like, hey, I want to put thousands of dollars down. If you got it, cool. Like if you got
Yeah,
it and you want to spend it, cool.
right.
Janelle and I were
Is it
like,
the wisest thing?
and here's if you
Depends.
if you're making $250,000 a year, like who am I?
Right.
Who if you and your partner are both like, if you're at half a million a year, and you're like, oh yeah, we can spend 5,000. You
Yeah.
know, I saw a TV show earlier this week. It was just a clip, like a little short, and the son was talking to the mom, and he was saying, "Hey, I want to get this ring," and she was like, "Yeah, you gotta pay $25,000."
I think I saw that.
And it's like
Yeah.
it's like a country town, and she was like, "Yeah, $25,000,"
The
and
Landman. Yeah, yeah,
I was like, 25, and he was like 25,000, and the mom ended up saying, "You know what? I can give you my ring that you can give to her." And in my head, I was like, people really out here paying $25,000 for, and the crazy thing about it, bro, is they're like, all right, we'll pay for it, and then we'll pay it off. Like we'll have a payment plan. And I'm like,
Right.
for a ring? For a ring?
Man, I saw that, like, the average price for an engagement ring was, like, $10,000. Um, that was today. And I was looking at that and I was like, "Oh, like, if you're paying for everything else in your wedding, and then the ring, the engagement ring before the actual wedding, because the average price for a wedding in America is, like, 50,000 now, right?" So, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's 60,000, and then that's not factoring in, like, your honeymoon, and everything else after that." So, I was like, the marketing has got all of us, man. So how were you able to kinda go like, not allow the ad machine to influence a lot of what you guys are doing?
Once again, like the preparation phase is so vital. I'm not saying I'm not an individual who is like you need um a whole lot of time because Janelle and I we planned our wedding in a matter of 10 months because I proposed to her last year in April. We got married in February. Got married
Right.
on and for all those individuals wondering why'd you get married in February? February is our anniversary. Okay. We got married
Oh,
on our seventh anniversary. And if you're wondering, wow, why did it take you so long? Um, it wasn't that deep to me. Okay. You know, it wasn't that for all those people that's just like, you should have known in 2 years that you wanted to marry her. Before we even got together, I was like, oh, that's gonna be my wife. You know,
called it.
I was like, that's gonna be my wife. So for those individuals like, oh, you should have known. I did know.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's gonna be my wife.
Mhm.
So if you're wondering why did I make her wait, we were in a relationship. Okay. So
Right.
I wasn't going anywhere. Um, she wasn't necessarily going anywhere. And I think marriage means to other people more than it means to me as a construct outside of God, right? Like I'm like, hey, I'm committed to you no matter what. I'm committed to you
Mhm,
no matter what. I
mhm.
don't need to say you're my wife for me to say I'm
Or a
committed.
$10,000 engagement ring,
You
you
know,
know?
I didn't need that. I didn't need that. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why it took long. I had to grow up a little bit in some other areas. But, you know, in the preparation phase, in the preparation phase, you have to like determine what do you want out of the experience? Like what are some of the pillars that's going to formulate the overall experience for you?
Yeah.
Um and then you have to say, hey, we want to not spend more than this amount. And essentially, you make decisions, you make concessions based on that amount. So if you're saying, because me and Janelle, we were like, we originally said we didn't want to spend over 25,000.
Mhm.
We ended up going over that. Um, but we ended up going over that with a lot of different with things that other people did not do. Like we got a videographer.
Mhm.
Um, we streamed our wedding. A lot of people aren't streaming. Like
Right. You had the best DJ I've ever seen, by the way, bro.
like and
Hands down.
here's the thing. Like we ended up going over 25,000, but 25,000 is including everything,
Mhm,
right? We're talking venue, we're talking or venues, depending on how many place locations you have. Venues, caterers, uh,
hotel?
hotel, like attire. And this is why it went over because we ended up splurging a little bit on the
Mhm,
attire. You know, there are
mhm,
some individuals that are like, hey, the attire may not matter because you're only going to wear it once. It depends on the type of person that you are, right?
mhm,
It really depends. Now, here's the thing like, when it comes to her dress, like, she will likely only put it on, like, if she just wants to feel like you know, but
yeah,
she's like preserving it. She's going to preserve it. You know, went to the dry cleaners and they were like, "Hey, there's a preserving option. We'll give you a nice, beautiful, like see-through box where you can see it. You know,
Oh, wow.
like there's so much that you learn. There's so much that you learn. So I know the first thing I said was figure out how invested you are. Second thing is take preparation very seriously. I digressed a lot, but the reality is we really got into it once I had my month off from when I took my sabbatical last year after finishing at Metro.
Right,
Okay.
right.
August was when I had my sabbatical month, and that's when we really were able to plan certain things out and plan certain things through. And I just got to say, some things were coincidence. Other things were just having a great network. Like Janelle and I found our DJ because we went out for date night, and we went to a place that we typically wouldn't go to. We went to like a bar, and we were eating, and I hate bars. Like, because they're so loud. They're so loud.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and I remember originally, we could have either chosen to be outside or inside. I surprisingly, I said, "Now let's go inside." After going inside, after a while, Janelle and I was just like, "Man, like this is actually like a good set list, and we're appreciating what the DJ is doing with the music." And so got to a point where she was like, "I like him," and I was like, "I can go up to him and I can like ask him for his card."
yeah.
And so we both were like, we agreed, like, "Yo, he's good," and it seemed like he got like a good mixture of like churchiness to him, because like when a person has gone to church, like
Mhm,
when certain secular artists who are R&B or rappers, when they went to church.
mhm,
And so he was given the vibes that like he had gone to church. So like when I went over to him, he was just like, "Oh man, listen, like you don't even know who you're talking to right now." And like I've done weddings for these people in the gospel community because I told him I was a pastor and everything like that. He's like, "Listen, man, like I've worked with these people, I've worked with them." And so initially I was scared. I was like, "Oh, what cost $5,000?"
Yeah, right. That's a good and bad thing.
But listen, like Grace, man, like he really appreciated Janelle's spirit, and so got a major discount,
Wow.
and it was great. Like our DJ made our reception next level. Like
Hands down, hands down, hands down.
literally, like I saw Adventists, I saw like some of the most conservative people who I never thought I'd see dance, like dancing and having the time of their life. All right.
Mhm,
And it's because of him. So, but it had to, even when we secured him, we knew we had a number in our head where we're like, "Hey, we don't want to go past this." And that was because in our preparation phase, we said, "Hey, one of the pillars is we want to make sure that we are having an economical wedding because this day is important,
mhm.
but it is just one day. It's
Yeah,
just one day. It's just one day."
yeah,
So,
yeah.
like the reality, we ended up spending several tens of thousands of dollars for this one day, right? But we did it in a way that made sense for us. There's
Right.
another couple who we know their wedding cost $100,000.
Mhm,
Like, they're African, really dope people, and I mean like they both make good money, right?
mhm,
But I was like, I don't got that,
mhm.
and ethically speaking, I don't think that makes sense for me.
I don't.
Like it makes sense when you making a whole bunch of money. If you got millionaire money, by all means, you got it.
Yeah.
But if you got pastor money, humble money, you're like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good."
Man, like like, for me, man, in my mindset, it doesn't really matter how much you make. Like, bringing in that spiritual element in here as well, right? It's just, hey, like, let's keep stewardship at the front of our mind as well, right? Because this is another opportunity to to use that and then plan down the road as well. I think one of the hardest things I've heard from individuals is that they're still paying off their wedding loans that they took for
Loans.
their wedding. Yeah, right, loans for their wedding, and they might have gotten a divorce, right? And now they're in their second wedding, and the reality is they're still paying off the loans for their first wedding,
Oh,
right?
dang.
And and I had to kind of process it, and I was like, never in my life,
Yeah,
right?
it, yes, that
But bro,
that's true.
hit, I'm sorry, man. Hit me with three, four, and five real quick.
Um, three, your efficient needs to be good. Like,
Mhm.
our officiant, Dr. Noah Washington, amazing, right? But here's why, like, you need to be intentional with who you select, because to your point, the piece that you just put raised about divorce, there are so many individuals who are unhappy by year three of marriage
Yeah,
because, and one, pre-engagement counseling, it matters. Okay.
hands
Not
down.
just premarital counseling, but pre-engagement counseling. Okay. Some people might think they're the same thing. Before Janelle and I got engaged, we had pre-engagement counseling, and it lasted for about 8 months. Okay.
Mhm.
That actually pushed back our engagement because I wanted to make sure that we covered so many important things.
Yeah.
Okay. The reality is that there are a number of individuals who walk into marriage without really understanding what it is that they're signing up for. Um,
Mm.
they have ideas based on what they've seen on TV, what people have communicated to them about within church. And I just want to say this: a lot of people don't tell you a lot of the stuff that they actually go through in marriages.
They
Um,
don't.
it is rarely perfect from the beginning.
Mhm.
Um, and if it is perfect in the beginning, at some point in time, something happens. Either there's a health complication, or there is finances
Mhm.
because someone undoubtedly loses their job at some point. There is something that's going to happen that's going to test your marriage.
Mhm.
But who you select to take you through your counseling, it is vital. There are so many individuals who are getting married without having certain conversations. Why are you getting married and you haven't talked about kids? You know, why are you getting married and you haven't talked about how involved your families should be in
Mm.
why are you getting married and you haven't talked about, like, hey, what are the expectations for our roles? Do we
Mm.
believe in gender roles? Like, what is our setup going to be for our household? you
Yeah.
know Spiritually, how, are we going to church? are we are
Yeah.
we are we
Yeah.
How involved are we going to be in church? um are we going to go to church on multiple days? you know
Right.
I recognize more and more there are Adventists who are getting in relationships with Pentecostals, with Kojic, and so they go to church on Sunday. You know, like, how do I feel about possibly going to church on Sunday?
Right.
Am I open to that? Do I care that my partner goes to church with me on Saturday? Right?
Mhm.
These are conversations that are not had, and that need to be had. That need to be had because the most important thing that Noah talked to us about is, like, this is not for you to have all the answers now.
Mm.
This is things for you to consider just in case something does come up. You have a foundation to work with,
I'm
and
with you.
and that's so important. There are a lot of people who do not have a foundation. One of the
Mhm.
things, like, for what it's worth, Janelle and I have been dating for a very long time. Proud of it,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And we were able to date as long as we have because we've talked about things that even people who are married
Mhm.
uh, don't talk through. And we're a rather progressive couple in the first
Yeah.
place,
Yeah.
right? Like, Janelle, strong feminist, strong womanist, actually, right? Womanist theologian. And I am a feminist for what it's worth. And so, like, we're pretty progressive in the way that our relationship works. Um, and so there's been a lot of communication that's been necessary. And
Mhm.
so I would say talk to the necessary people that you need to talk through.
That's
That's
wisdom.
that's what I would say. That is
That's wisdom, man.
so crucial. That's so crucial.
That's
Um,
wisdom, man. Hit me with 4 and 5 quickly.
four, bigger is not better. Bigger is not better. You don't need to have, like, we had 10 people. Praise God for 10.
Yeah,
Um, we didn't need to have 10. I'm grateful that we had 10. You know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah,
grateful that we had 10 bridesmaids, um, groomsmen. But that doesn't need to be you, okay? Like, small weddings are okay. Small weddings
hmm
are okay, okay? Like,
intimate. Yeah.
and I be careful that you are not working to impress other people.
Mm,
Um, there, because when you do that, um, you begin to work from a very
mm,
faulty lens. There's so much that goes into the whole wedding experience. At times, it's not about this is what we want. At times, it's about, hey, this is what we think will wow people. Be careful about that, because that's kind of sort of like related to pride in a way. You don't Your wedding day is not about how can we be remembered and how can we impress other people and how can we show people that we're different.
yeah.
No, it's you publicly, proclaiming, hey, I'm gonna stick with this person through thick and through thin, and we're gonna work
Right.
together. And so make sure that you recognize, like, hey, bigger does not equal better. Like, okay, it's much better to be modest.
hmm
And here's why I said the piece I said about, like, hey, depending on how much you make, who am I to tell a millionaire how to spend their money? Um,
Yeah.
because the world works differently for a millionaire than it works for me, right?
True.
But I think that, and this is something that we talk through in our pastoral internship meetings. Even as a millionaire, you can still be modest, because modesty for me looks different than modesty for a
Mm,
millionaire, right? But besides that point, um, I think that more than anything, don't focus on impressing people. Focus on creating a day that is meaningful to you,
that's
meaningful
good.
to people around you. And then finally, protect your energy. Number 5, protect your energy.
Ooh.
Protect your energy. And this, like, bro, it's so crucial as to why you got to protect your energy. Um, but the reality is this: even the people in your bridal party, um, it's important that you check, should this person be here? Should this person really be here? What type of energy will they bring? What
That's
has
good.
my
Yeah.
relationship with, like, I can't tell you. And it's funny because I see this happening more so on, like, the bridesmaid side than the groomsman side, where brides have fallen outs with bridesmaids, right? And it's different things that come up. Let me say this: friends at one stage of life can become very insecure when they begin seeing you interact with friends in different phases of life. Okay, like, it,
Uh-oh. Yeah.
it's a thing. Because let's say you grew up in a in your area in Maryland, but you went away to college. What ends up happening is you're going to gain new friends. Your circle is going to get bigger or larger depending on the type of person that you are, right? And it's crucial that um you pay attention to certain dynamics, because some individuals
Mm,
can't handle you kind of sort of prospering outside of them.
hmm
uh, and depending on the type of people that you have around you, um you may just need to pay attention to how certain people act, because some people will get insecure, and some people will think, man, they might leave me behind. Um,
mm,
and because they feel insecure, they might start to self catastrophize,
hmm
um, and lead to breakups, lead to friend
hmm
breakup. And so it's imperative, protect your energy based on the people who are around you, but also protect
mm,
your energy by wedding binder. Account for as much as you possibly can. Like,
hmm
plan for as much as you possibly can. Truthfully, unfortunately, the wedding day never goes the way that you want it to go. Like, even our wedding day, like, we gave people time. People will show up late. People will show up late.
Yeah.
And you know, at times we'll underestimate how long it will take certain things to be done. You'll underestimate how long it will take for you to get dressed. You'll underestimate how long it'll take for you to put on certain bow ties, because
Right.
men don't know how to tie bow ties, apparently. You know,
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
men don't know how to tie bow ties. And so you'll spend 40 minutes like tying bow ties, which look much better than ties. Okay. Like for an event like this, looks so
Correct.
much better. So
Correct. Correct. Correct.
um and so yeah, protect your energy. Even when you end up spending more money, right? Don't like protect your energy by preparing better. You know, make
Yeah.
sure that you have certain money set aside so that when it does come up, you're good. And even if you are a person who uses credit cards, like protect yourself, protect your energy by making sure that like you don't have to use the credit card to an excessive amount. Okay.
Correct.
Um,
Correct.
but yeah, and so I would say those are quick five. The five will probably change depending on the day, but you know, those are like a quick five things that you can do, that you can work on, so that you can indeed be ready to have the time of your life, but also be able to on the next day and on
Mhm.
the day after that still enjoy marital bliss. And Janelle and
Amen.
we have been enjoying marital bliss so far. So
That's good, man. That's good. That's good. Listen, you shared some amazing insights, and I was just absorbing, right, as I'm preparing. So if you were blessed, if you were like, "Hey, I have some questions," go ahead and drop them in the chat. Uh, sorry, in the comment section below. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. If you have been married and you have some insights, you're like, "Hey, this is something I learned." In addition, go ahead. We want to know so that we can kind of help build a community here for our podcast. Jawan, there are more episodes that we have that we will continue to drop this year. We have some announcements as well, and those will come up later, y'all. But like, share, and subscribe to the Two Young Pastors podcast. We thank everyone that has subscribed already. We are growing, and we want our family to grow as well. So, all right, y'all. We'll catch you in the next one. See you guys later.
peace.